Hello friends, I am Dr. Harsh Mathur from Om Netralaya, Varanasi, India. This video contains an operative procedure meant for eye surgeons for education purposes. Viewer discretion is strongly recommended. And in this case, we'll learn 10 tips to avoid endothelial damage and postoperative corneal edema on day 1. Giving a good vision and a good recovery to your patients is of utmost importance, and how we can do that we learn in this video. The first step is to get a good fill of the OVD, a good OVD at the very start of the case so as to protect the corneal endothelium. Nicely fill the anterior chamber with a good OVD. The second important point is to make a good architecture of the incision, because through this you will be doing most of the phacoemulsification procedure. So either a triplanar or a biplanar incision, but with a good architecture, and good tunnel length should be made. The third and an important point is to make a good sized rhexis. At least about 5 to 5.5 mm of rhexis should be made, which helps you to make moves easily in the anterior chamber and manipulate and manage the nuclei as per your will. So at least a 5 to 5.5 mm of rhexis is important. Now, while doing hydrodissection, we burp out the viscoelastic substance to make space in the anterior chamber. So after hydrodissection, one should again refill the anterior chamber before taking the probe inside, because now we will be using energy in the eye, and depending upon the density of the nucleus, one can refill and recoat the endothelium as many number of times as required. Now, after the nucleus moves freely, it's time to take the probe inside. Now you can see there is a sentinel air bubble. So never take the probe towards the endothelium and try to remove it. If you need to remove it, then you can use elastic substance and remove it. Do not take the probe near the endothelium, else you will be able to remove the air bubble, but you will cause damage to the endothelium. So instead of removing this sentinel air bubble, I chose to let it be. The sixth is always keep your probe in the central safe zone. It will not only protect the endothelium but also the the posterior capsule. The seventh is always work deep in the anterior chamber at the level of the iris. Avoid chattering of the nuclear pieces by controlling the vacuum with your foot pedal. And the sentinel air bubble is still with us, which means we are away from the endothelium. The endothelium is well protected while we are doing the phacoemulsification procedure. The triangle between the probe and the dialer ensures that the nuclei do not chatter and hit the endothelium. Now we are done with the nucleus. Again, refill the anterior chamber with viscoelastic substance and time to remove the cortical matter. So to remove the 12 o'clock matter, always go through the side port. It will keep the chamber deep and you will be away from the endothelium. Now is the time to inject the IOL. Again, fill the bag with viscoelastic substance. Now while pushing the IOL inside, always make sure that the leading haptic goes inside the bag. If it stays in the upper part of the anterior chamber over the iris, then it might hit the endothelium, or while maneuvering or dialing the IOL, you might injure the endothelium. Now the IOL is in the bag, and now the most important part, clean the viscoelastic substance from above and below the IOL as thoroughly as possible to avoid any post-operative spike in the IOP, thus causing corneal edema. So take your time and clean the viscoelastic substance as thoroughly as possible, and once chamber is clear, then it's time to hydrate the wounds. The last and the 10th part is hydrate the wounds gently. Do not create a big patch of hydration over the cornea. Gently hydrate the walls of the incision. Do not make a huge hydrated part, and gently hydrate the wall. If your tunnel is of good architecture, then you don't need a lot of hydration of your wounds to seal it. So these are the 10 points to let me know how to manage and avoid endothelial damage. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.